Snow drifted down in thick, silent curtains over the gray city. Chimneys exhaled smoke into the evening sky, and lamps flickered to life behind frosted windows. The world seemed warm and golden, at least, to those looking from the inside out. On the streets, however, it was another story entirely. A little girl, no older than 8, wandered barefoot through the snow-laced cobblestone alleys. Her feet were blue and red with cold toes nearly frozen. She had once worn her mother's slippers, big and clumsy, but they had fallen off while she rushed to avoid a carriage, and someone had snatched them up and run. Now she walked with nothing but rags wrapped around her feet, soaked through and stiff from the freezing slush. Her clothes hung from her tiny frame in tatters. A thin shawl covered her shoulders, barely shielding her from the cutting wind. She clutched a small bundle of matchboxes in a stained apron. She had not sold a single one all day. The street was filled with hurried footsteps and swirling snow. No one looked her way, and if they did, they only shook their heads or turned their collars up against the cold. The richer folk looked through her as though she were part of the wind, and the poor were too burdened with their own struggles to notice another mouth going hungry. She was afraid to go home. Her father, once a kind man before the drink found him, had become hard and angry since her mother died. If she returned with no money, he would beat her. Not viciously, not with cruelty in his eyes, but with the bitter frustration of a man drowning in sorrow and desperation. And so she stayed on the street. It was New Year's Eve, through the windows of nearby homes. The little match girl could see families gathering around tables heavy with roast meats, buttered bread, glistening puddings, and cider. She paused at one window where a girl her own age laughed and danced beside a fire, her cheeks warm and rosy. The little match girl stood there for a long moment, her breath clouding the glass, before she backed away and sank down into a sheltered corner between two buildings. The snow fell harder now. Her fingers were stiff with cold. She could no longer feel her feet. Her stomach ached, hollow and knotted. Her lips were cracked and pale. She hugged her knees to her chest and looked down at the matches in her apron. She dared not go home. She was so cold, so very cold. Maybe, just maybe, one little match wouldn't hurt. She pulled a match from one of the bundles and struck it against the wall. A tiny flame flared to life, dancing and golden, casting soft light on her numbed fingers. She held her hands close. Oh, how warm it felt! In that small flame, it was as if a great iron stove had risen before her, glowing with heat, crackling with orange firewood. She stretched her hands out to the warmth, but just as quickly as it had come, the flame died and the stove vanished. Only a smoking stick remained. She shivered and struck another match. This time, the flame brought more than warmth. It brought vision. She saw a long table spread with food: roasted goose with golden skin, potatoes swimming in gravy, warm bread, and sweet-smelling apples. She reached out, but again, the flame flickered and died. The vision faded, and only cold darkness returned. One more match? Just one more. The third match flared with blue light, and in its glow, she saw something that made her heart ache with longing. A Christmas tree. Not just any tree, but the most magnificent she had ever seen. Rising high into the ceiling, covered in candles that burned steadily without melting the branches. It was draped in ornaments of silver and glass, with stars and angels and golden ribbons. The girl reached out with trembling hands, and the flame, again, sputtered and was gone. But the lights from the Christmas tree didn't fade. They rose, they became stars in the sky. And one star, brighter than the rest, began to fall. "Someone's soul is going up to heaven," she whispered, remembering what her grandmother used to say. Her grandmother, her only friend, her only comfort in life, long since gone, had told her stories of angels, of peace, of warmth and love beyond this world. She had said, when a star falls, it means someone's spirit is going home. The little girl smiled through chattering teeth. She struck another match. This time, her grandmother appeared in the flame, radiant and kind, her face lit by an inner glow. The girl gasped. "Grandmother," she cried, "oh, please take me with you. Don't leave me here. I don't want to be cold anymore." She struck another match, and another, and another. She lit the whole bundle, desperate to keep the vision from fading. The flames rose, bright and beautiful, illuminating the alley like 100 lanterns. Her grandmother smiled and reached out her hands. The girl stood. She no longer felt cold. She no longer felt hunger. Her rags turned to soft, warm garments. Her bare feet floated above the snow. The city and the night melted away, and together they rose, grandmother and granddaughter, upward, through the clouds, toward a light that grew ever brighter. Morning came. The snow had stopped. The city stirred to life again. People hurried past the alley where the little girl had sat, curled up in the corner. Her head rested gently on her knees, a smile on her face. She was frozen stiff. In her lap were burnt-out matchsticks and a bundle of unused ones. No one knew what she had seen. No one knew how she had smiled in her final moments. No one knew how the flames had shown her visions of warmth, of joy, of reunion and love. They called it a tragedy. But in a place far beyond this world. The little match girl held her grandmother's hand, bathed in golden light, forever warm, forever loved. Subscribe for more videos and press the bell icon to get new updates. Also like the video and share to your friends.